From Chicago streets to the courts beat, South Scott Dan on the podcast seat. Bulls breaking news, talking stats and views. Every player, every play, we never lose. Horns over hoops, we're the Bulls troop. From game analysis to fan scoop.
What's good, Bulls fans and Horniacs, and welcome back to another edition of the show we like to call the Horns Over Hoops podcast. We are your hosts for the evening, Sal Bass, Scott Berman, and Dan Gracie. Fellas, how are we doing today on the cusp of this holiday season?
It's cold.
It sure is. It sure is. Are you guys keeping warm?
I mean, yeah, I got my hoodie. I see you guys. I see both you guys have your fucking Christmas sweaters, looking all adorable.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you not watching on YouTube and listening in your car, we're just going to break it down for you. I'm rocking our merch, our beautiful, ugly Christmas sweater that you can purchase at www.denzelrange.com. And Scott is rocking a rather lovely green Christmas sweater. What's the design on that?
It is a flamingo in a Santa hat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that is great. I'm so glad I waited till the actual show started to get you to stand up and reveal that. Dan Gracie's not rocking a Christmas.
I'm just wearing the Bulls hoodie.
Yeah.
Dan hates the Christmas season, clearly.
Yeah, I'm a Grinch.
He's a Grinch. He couldn't even wear a Grinch sweater, though. That's how Grinch he is.
Green's not my color.
Fellas, by the time this comes out, it'll be past the holiday season. We hope everyone had a safe and happy holiday. What were you guys' plans for the holidays?
Going to my parents. Me and my wife go every year. They make breakfast. Then we have gifts, then dinner, and then we usually play a game, and then we go home.
Oh, lovely. Well, like board games, charades. What do you?
Yeah. Either like a board game, card game. One year we played this game called Spoons. Forgot how to play it.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah.
You mean the card game?
Great
with
game.
The spoons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, what do you do for Christmas, or what are you doing for Christmas?
Going over to my parents in the morning, and then we usually have everybody over in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
So that.
There you go. So now that the holiday season is like over, what's your guys' favorite holiday?
Mine is actually Christmas. Mine is Christmas.
Oh, is it really? It can be Christmas. Yeah. That's fine.
It's Christmas, and then because you guys just said I just said I'm a Grinch and everything. Yeah, it's Christmas and then Halloween. Halloween is my second favorite.
Halloween is a good holiday. That's a very underappreciated holiday. Scott,
and then obviously it's Arbor Day.
Oh, Dan loves trees. Dan's a big tree guy.
I love trees.
Oh no, it's actually was it Frying Pan Day? What was that random like?
Oh yeah, National Frying Pan Day.
National Frying Pan Day.
A good one.
It was like in July.
For those of you who didn't listen to our Space Jam episode, go check it out now. Dan made reference to a time where one time when they were younger, they were standing outside for the bus, and Scott just randomly comes up to Dan and says, "Hey, did you know it's National Frying Pan Day?" Of course, we know that Scott is like the master of little facts. We call him Snapple because he always has a random fact that you'll never think to be true, to be true, but he comes up with it. But gentlemen, aside from the holiday season, my favorite gift every year for the holiday season is just being able to enjoy a wonderful Bulls basketball game, and just being a fan of the Chicago Bulls is gift enough for me this Christmas season. So, and fellas, the Bulls up recently have been playing very well. They've been playing outstanding. We're currently 13-15 in the standing, so we're hovering a few games below that 500 mark. We're 6-4 in the last 10 games, and we are on a 3-game winning streak, with the latest win coming to the defending champions, the Boston Celtics. What do you guys think of this progress so far? How do you like where we're sitting?
Yeah, they need to knock this winning stuff off.
I knew somebody would mention that.
Well, no, I mean, I'm honestly scared that like Jerry and AK and everyone in the front office is going to be like, oh, hey, like maybe we don't need to make any changes at all. We finally figured things out and we're going to keep this core together and not do anything and end up where we're at right now, the 9th seed, lose in the first or second round. And I don't know. I've seen this like story so many times.
Yeah, same song and dance, right?
Yeah.
Scotty B, what do you got?
Really, we've seen a lot of the younger players step up recently. Like we know that Vooch and LaVine are going to score. They're going to play well. LaVine has been playing out of his mind lately. Vooch is probably having his best year in like it might be his best year. So, but we're seeing a lot of the younger players step up and a lot of the bench players step up, which is great. I could see the Bulls doing exactly what Dan said, or AK finally stepping up and saying, no, we need to do this rebuild. Because we keep hearing rumors every day about new teams looking at our players. This year, we actually think they're reasonable. Like last year, where everybody was talking about like, oh yeah, Zach's going to go to the Lakers. He's going to go to the Pistons. And it turned out no one actually wanted him. This year, it feels like they actually do. And they see that he can be a team player and then he can do what he did last game and score 36 points.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not sure which way we're going to go, but I like what I'm seeing from the younger players.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you guys. Like, here's the thing. I never hated the idea of as I said before, I'm not one who believes in tanking, no matter how good the draft pick is. I'm always a firm believer that no NBA draft prospect has ever played minutes in the NBA. There's no reason that a franchise should tank just to get one particular player. That's just my firm opinion. So for me, I'm with the mentality, you go out there and try to win every game. But to me, it looks like the Bulls finally got a few things that we had questions about right. Rotation wise, they're finally starting to dial in a rotation that makes sense. They're not throwing out these wacky combinations here and there. Billy's starting to leave people out there a little bit longer, which I can respect that. As we know, Lonzo Ball, he was only supposed to play 20 minutes, I think, is his cap. And that one game that was it the Charlotte game that they left him out there for a few minutes longer, and he's like, I feel good, let me play. So I feel like we're really dialing it in, and to some Bulls fans that'll be scary because some Bulls fans want to get that San Antonio pick, and that's fine, but I'd rather see direction than waste a year. That's just my opinion. If we try to win every single game and still wind up with that Spurs pick, cool. But I like how we're getting things together and we're playing like a well-oiled machine now. Who would you credit, guys, to like this? Who would you give the most of the credit to this success?
I would give
it to players getting it together.
I would give it to Zach and Vooch. Like Scott said, I do think that Vooch is playing like the best of his entire career, and Zach has shown that he's back to his all-star level self. So and it does feel like Billy finally like kind of figured out how to coach almost.
Yep.
So the combination of those three, I think, are the reasons why we're winning.
Scott, what would you put a majority of the success on, rather?
So this is kind of going to be a weird thing. I think DeRozan mentoring Io and Kobe has helped tremendously.
Yeah.
Like he showed them how to drive, how to kind of be leaders. And we've seen it this year with him no longer on the team and no longer demanding the ball, that they are free to do what they want. Like how, just looking at last game, they were immediately looking for the lane to try to drive. and that's kind of what DeRozan would do. So DeRozan's mentoring, and then I think Zach kind of seeing last year when he was injured. Well, when he was injured, came back, seeing like, hey, we should play team ball, and seeing how much success the team was having when we were doing that. So I think kind of what happened last year really helped define this team, where they figured out, hey, we can do all this. I think we have whoever our shooting coach is, that guy needs a raise. He has helped so many players, and like, we're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. We have been shooting like 40% lately.
Yeah.
Everybody can hit like mid-range jumpers lately. Vooch is shooting on another level, and I think everybody getting their confidence up, and things are working. I think they brought in the right veterans, players that have played for winning teams that kind of can show, like bringing in Sticks, bringing in THT. Even though THT was a minor part of the Lakers, he was still brought in some good leadership and some winning culture.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think they're kind of on the right direction, building the base, but we can't. This isn't a winning team with what they are now. Like, we will have to move on from Vooch and Zach, but I think the base of Kobe, Io, Smith needs to stay. THT, for a guy I did not want on the team like a month ago, he has really stepped up. Phillips played out of his mind last game.
Yeah, dude. I love Phillips coming up.
Yeah, the Bulls have hit on second round picks, which is crazy.
Yeah, we do better with our second rounders than our first rounders.
Yeah.
like Patrick Williams, first rounder, bust, Terry, but like Phillips and my goodness, Io.
Yeah, I think they're building a good base, but they're not quite there yet, and we need younger talent, star talent.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Yeah, like I agree. Like, this isn't the team that's going to win you your 7 championship. That's not going to happen. This isn't even close to the team that's going to be winning you your championship. But what you can see from this team is a march towards that goal, and that is with your stars emerging as they're taking that next step, so to speak, like your Ios, like your Matas. Then you have your minor players that have taken a bigger step into bigger roles, like your Julian Phillips, your THTs, so it's a very promising future. I think the main thing that we need is a tried and true player who we are going to build this franchise around, because up until this point, last year was Kobe. This year, Matas, insert plug and play here, who we're going to build around. We never have a definitive player who we're going to build around. And that's something that within the next coming years, I'd like to see us actually kind of cement that. And this is who we're building around. This is who's going to be the star player. And then and only then will you start to see real progress. So I agree with you guys. But before we get into the hot topic and the main idea that everyone tuned in to listen to, and that's trades, fellas, the Emirates NBA Cup has come to a close. My prediction was far from accurate, who was going to win. So we're going to congratulate the Milwaukee Bucks right now.
Who did you say?
Yeah, please take down those videos. How dare
Suns.
You picked the Suns.
Dude, I invested so much time in making those shorts. And
did the Suns even make it out of the first round?
No, they did not. But I was close, dude. Even our little group, nobody. Okay, answer us honestly. Nobody had the Atlanta Hawks making it out of that group as the winner. I mean, it was crazy that
Celtics or Cavs.
Yeah,
right. It was crazy that we were even in a position to win that group. It's even crazier. We scored the most points out of the entire Emirates Cup. That's just a random stat, but that just destroyed everyone's bracket. So that's another reason why I love the Emirates Cup, because anything can happen, and it brings back that spontaneity back into sports. It's not just the that team's going to make it. That's a given. They're going to make it. No, you had powerhouse teams not even making the group stage. So Dan, your dad was probably happy. We know he's a big Bucks fan.
Yeah, he was very, 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 very happy. I was happy because Dame finally got a ring.
Well, he got a medal. He didn't get a ring.
No, I thought they were getting rings this year.
I don't think you get a ring. You get a medal.
Well,
you get like an Olympic medal, and
well, I mean, he can hold that over Chris Paul's head now. I don't know.
he finally got a banner.
CP3.
You could say that.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool. I had Oklahoma winning, just because they're a good young up and coming team, and the Bucks have been struggling lately. I mean, not lately, but to start off the season they were struggling.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I mean, yeah, my dad was happy. Good for the Bucks. Good for Dame. The only thing the Bucks really need to do now is find some way to get rid of Chris Middleton, and I think they'll be good. Oh, and Bobby. I think Bobby's time there is done as well.
Yeah, Bobby Portis, really? Give him back to us. I love Bobby.
I feel like he's becoming too much of a hothead for him.
Yeah, I would love Bobby Portis back. What he brings the energy off the bench for that Bucks team. He's kind of a walking double-double off the bench this year. So he's having a really good year. But what I did notice about the game, the NBA Cup Finals, they made the fans, like all the seats, blue and dark because it was empty. No one was there. That was the deadest arena I've ever seen. It was so weird watching that game. It was so quiet. No one was like excited. It was kind of like watching the bubble games again.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys both watch it then?
I didn't watch it.
You watched it, I know.
Yeah.
You didn't watch it?
I watched the game.
Okay. Okay.
The Bucks I was actually talking to a Bucks fan about the game, and he was saying this is probably the best game they've ever played. And part of the reason I think that is the Bucks wanted it more than anybody. Giannis promised one of the younger players that he's going to give them his winnings if they win the cup. So he was trying as hard as he could. He also talked about how he wanted to win something with Dame to prove that they can work together. So I think the Bucks wanted it more.
100%.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear what Giannis said about his winnings?
No.
He's doing there like, what are you going to do with that money? No. After that, like as he won and he was on the court, he's like, part of it went to the Christmas shopping. Part of it went to this. Part of it went to that. It's gone. I'm like, dude, $500,000 is gone before you even win. Like, damn, you know what I mean? Like here's me, like lifestyle. Your average. Yeah, exactly. Like, here's me, your average Joe. Like, as soon as your paycheck comes, it's gone because you have bills. But I'm not making six figures by any stretch of the imagination. And this man's making millions, and his paycheck is even gone before he gets it. That's crazy. What team did you guys originally have winning it all? I had Phoenix. Who did you have?
I think I had the Thunder.
You had the Thunder?
Yeah. Oh, I had the Thunder as well.
Oh, so you guys were like the closest. You guys almost had it. No kidding. Awesome.
Well, I was not going to win the whole thing.
Yeah. Dude, there's been a lot of good teams lately. So, did you really expect the Bucks to win so easily, though?
No. That was one of the more surprising things. When I saw the score, I was like, "Oh my god, the Bucks straight murdered them!"
Yeah. It was domination. Moving forward, do you think I know we touched about it last week on last week's show. If you haven't checked it out, pause this and go check it out. But are there any how do you guys feel about the cup as a whole? Take your interest in it aside. How would you guys rank its overall put togetherness? I'll just say, like, as a whole, do you think that the rules are good? Like how everything flows, the group stage, the way they accumulate points? Like, are there any rule changes you'd like to see to make this better, or what's in it? You know what I mean? Like, how would you change this to make this better, or do you think it's already perfect? How about that? Again, taking your interest aside.
Yeah, I don't think it's like perfect, but I think it's good enough. I feel like if they mess with it, it wouldn't be bad. I know last episode I was talking about how how I'm not interested in the cup at all. But with the Bucks winning and everything, and just like earlier you said how random it all is because none of us had like the Hawks winning. I will probably pay more attention to the cup games next season. Because it seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty neat.
Scott,
I'm upset that I missed it.
Pretty cool. Scott, would you change anything or no?
Yeah, the courts. What they did. What they did for the final, where they put the trophy as the key. Just do that. Just do the Bulls logo, and then just do the trophy as the key. That way, you know, hey, this is a cup game. I don't need to see bright color stuff. It looks terrible. I understand that they want the game in Vegas, but fans aren't going out there. You know who?
Right.
The only reason fans went out for the Lakers is because it's like a 2-hour drive, 2-3 hour drive.
Yep.
Oklahoma's not that far, but I don't think they're going to travel. Like Bucks fans aren't going to travel to Vegas for this game.
No.
And I was kind of happy that this was the game because how many times did we see? I saw a couple stories like, oh, no one cares about the cup anymore because the Lakers or Knicks or whatever aren't in there. The big markets aren't in there. This is terrible for the league. And it's like, this is great. We're seeing teams like Oklahoma or Milwaukee or Atlanta step up. Sorry, I'm so sick of the big market as we are a big market team. Like the league needs this. The league doesn't need this. No one cares about big markets anymore. That's not a thing.
Yeah, no one like you're 100% correct because of social media. Social media, killed the small market thing in sports. Like it, and regardless, it's good that small markets are doing good. Like, fuck the big markets.
Yeah.
They were the Stars minus the Bulls.
As the Chicago is what?
Minus the Bulls.
Yep.
The Bulls are like the small market, the biggest small market.
No, they're just incompetent, so it just doesn't seem like a big market.
Yeah, but we're also a market like us as fans. We recognize that yes, we are a major market, but we've seen some real talent and some real, come out of small market teams. Throw in your Oklahomas, throw in your
Milwaukee.
You know what I mean? Milwaukee. We'll put Milwaukee in there.
Memphis.
Memphis,
Memphis. Yeah, exactly. Big things come out of small cities, so just remember that. But in my personal opinion, I love this because I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but my second sport that I've watched is soccer, and the fact that they finally incorporated soccer.
How dare you?
You love soccer, Scott. Don't even.
No, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. I very vaguely remember you having either a Clint Dempsey or a Landon Donovan jersey.
No, I have 3 Team USA jerseys. I think I get one for every World Cup.
Okay, that's it. But I'm finally glad they managed to incorporate soccer into basketball. Not necessarily, just the tournament style. Because I've always liked the tournament style for the World Cup, where you have a pool of teams that compete to go to a knockout stage where it's single game elimination. Actually, would you guys like it if that's how the playoffs were? Instead of having the best of 16, the best 8 teams, would you go to a group stage? But instead of doing single game elimination, you do like best of 3 for the knockout stage.
No, I like the playoffs.
I think that's fine.
Okay, I agree. Okay, that's fine. It was just throwing it out there.
But did you guys see that Adam Silver is actually in talks with the Euro League to do a postseason tournament of whoever the NBA Finals winner is to add them to like a tournament?
Yeah. Yep, I did see that. And for those of you who don't watch soccer, that's fine. It's basically like
Champions League.
I can only it's basically like Champions League. I can only relate it to Italian league because that's the one I follow, and it's like the best 4 teams that win the Italian Soccer League go on to play the rest of the European teams for like the European Cup. There's many tournaments within a tournament. Like there's many opportunities to win gold in that sport. So I would love to see that, just to see if your team is actually the best in, you know what I mean? If like say Denver
best in the
wins
world.
and
Best in the
Denver's
world.
exactly.
Yeah.
You got to go up against like Barcelona or
It'll never happen.
no.
The Stars we're right now we're already struggling with like Stars wanting to play 82 games. They're not going to want to play a postseason tournament where they can just not. They would rather have their summers off.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
Like what was it? Some players didn't even want to go play in the Olympics a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's why we ended up doing so terribly.
Yeah, that's why I can't see them wanting to keep doing this for longer. The season's already super long.
Yeah,
But
it is.
It goes till June, so
yeah, adding more games. It's a great thought, but I don't think it would work out. I would love to see it, but I don't think it would work. But speaking of rule changes, guys, one very big rule change that has been making controversy and headlines and turning people's heads, including Kevin Durant, in all the big names, is the rule changes to the All-Star game. The All-Star game is now going from its one-on-one East versus West or single head-to-head 1v1 to a 4-team tournament. And for those of you guys who have no idea what I'm talking about, thank the Heavenly Father that we have Scott Berman here to read us the rules. Scotty B, what are the rule changes that I am rambling on about?
So they're going to be doing like you said, a 4-team tournament. Charles, Shaq, Kenny, and Candace Parker all get teams. They're kind of like the coaches. It's going to be it's 5-on-5.
Yeah,
and I believe it's 5-on-5.
Yeah, it's 5-on-5.
Yeah,
but
5-on-5.
there's
eight.
eight.
But you have 8 players. Yeah,
8 players. Okay,
8 players.
Yeah. You go up to 40 points. So first team to reach 40. Shaq, Charles, and Kenny get to draft their team. Candace Parker gets the Rising Stars, which kind of bullshit because they're literally playing a game the day before.
I thought that was kind of bullshit too.
Yeah. It's like Rising Star. It's first and second year players and G League standouts she gets. So it's it's kind of bullshit.
She gets like the shit end of the stick.
Yeah. But as much as people are like crying, oh, we need East versus West. Everybody's been saying the All-Star game is dog shit and no one cares about it. So why are you crying about something different?
Thank you.
Thank you. It's we're trying. What if this is fun? What if players are going to start trying? They're going to start trying. They're not going to want to lose an all-star tournament.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. It's like broccoli and Brussels sprouts. You know what I mean?
Delicious.
What if it's good?
Both of them delicious.
Just taste it. What if it's good?
I don't like Brussels sprouts.
So good.
Dan, you don't eat your greens?
No, I eat my greens. I just don't like Brussels sprouts.
Oh, delicious.
Really? If you prepare them right, they're phenomenal. Oven roasted. Oh yeah. Balsamic glaze. There you go.
Yeah. Some bacon with it.
Oh yeah. Gotta have bacon. But I'm with you guys. I agree with Scott. Like, try it. What's the worst that happens? More people don't watch the All-Star game. Like, I get it that it's something new and people don't like change and everyone wants to see East versus West again, but everyone wants to see East versus West, but they're not going to watch the game anyway. So are they just pissed off that it's different, or are they pissed off that they genuinely don't like it? Because we've been saying it forever. The All-Star game is a dying duck. You know what I mean? Nobody tries. It's become more chucking up threes from half court. You know, we had a 200-point score last year. I mean, are you kidding me? So what I'm thinking it's doing is to have 4 teams against each other. It's restoring that competitive nature back in the game. Now, obviously, teams aren't going to bust their ass for all 40 points and play like it's a normal playoff game, but you at least get that much more energy out of it. Scott, did they say what the winner wins or no?
Yeah, it's a pool of $1.8 million.
Oh,
Each player,
My
each
God.
player on the winning team gets $125,000. Second place gets 50, third and fourth get 25. But like, I'm just going off last year. I watched the day before, like the whatever dunk contest. Actually, I watched it for the Steph Curry Inescu 3-point contest.
yeah,
I did not watch the
yeah.
All-Star game. I made a point not to watch the All-Star game because it's dog shit and no one cares. Stop
I had
crying
it on
about
the
change. Just do it. Why not?
Yeah.
We've been saying it's dog shit. No one's trying. This is people are going to try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it on in the background. I didn't really pay attention. Like I watched just for the sake of having it on, but like I said, every time I turned my head, it seemed like they jumped 30 points in a matter of 2 minutes. Like like I said, one time I looked back and it was like 180 something. I'm like, and there's still a lot of time left in the game. I'm like, are we going to touch 200 points in a game? That's ridiculous. What can we do? Like, we're not experts, but we're consumers of the game. What can us as consumers do to make the game better? How would you feel like the game? How could we make the All-Star game great again? Sorry, Dan.
Oh, no, you're fine. Fucking, I like the change. Like at first, I didn't like the change of like this whole new 4 teams thing, just because I didn't fully understand it, and I felt like they're kind of over complicating it. And the more I like looked into it, the more I read about it, the more I came around to it. The only thing I really don't like is like how like Shaq, Kenny, and like pretty much like the TNT crew is part of it. That part kind of feels gimmicky. But other than that, I think everything's fine. If you want the East versus West thing, then just you have to find a way to get to the players to let them know, like, hey, like play defense, like actually make this a game. I don't know. At least like Scott said, the NBA's trying. Everyone's been bitching, they're trying.
Yeah.
And nothing's ever good enough for these people. God.
Right. What more do you want?
Yeah, what do you want? Like, you run the league then. Here.
Yeah. Scott, what would you do differently?
Last year, I talked about saying, do a 2-on-2 tournament. And guess what? They did. They're going towards a tournament. Like, do something that makes people want to try. I think they're going in the right direction. I think this is a good change. I don't care about the East versus West. It doesn't matter. Does it change anything? Who wins?
No.
It's not like baseball where they get home field advantage. It just doesn't matter. So why not just do something? Yeah. I think they're going in the right direction. I'm glad they did the Inescu, or the day before the Inescu Curry thing. Keep doing things like that. They need to start bringing more of the WNBA into the All-Star game too. Like they always had them in the skills competition where there was one WNBA player, but with Caitlin Clark's blow up of popularity and the WNBA's blow up of popularity and how many good young women are about to come into the league. Keep doing that. Bring them more into it. I think you're going to start getting a lot of those WNBA fans that don't want to watch NBA basketball watch that too. So bring that in, and guess what? It's going to grow both leagues. So keep doing. I don't care if it's gimmicky. That's what the All-Star break is. Gimmicks.
Right. Yes.
It's just the TNT crew. That's the
TNT. That's because it's on TNT.
Well, right. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I just.
It's their last go around. Well, maybe
it's their farewell tour.
Are they doing it next year? What are they owned by ESPN or some shit? I don't know.
I don't know. It's like Motley Crue. Every year is their last year.
Yeah, basically. That's a great comparison. There's people listening to the show who don't even know what Motley Crue is. I can't believe it. The thing that I would change, I want to. I'm a firm believer of try it. If it doesn't work, get rid of it. But at least try it. The thing that I would do is this, and this may be a rule. I just don't even know it. If people are so adamant about seeing East versus West, and it takes away the integrity of best of the West and best of the East, then why don't you do this? All the players in the West, you divide them into two teams. Then you have them go against the two teams in the East. Winner of that, it's still going to be East versus West.
No.
Take away this G League rising star. Let them rising stars in the bring back freshman and sophomore game. I like that one. That was perfect. But get rid of that. Give Candace Parker a real team. Give her East or West and have her choose from the East and West, and then have them square off in a tournament style. I think that would be a lot better. Not this garbage we'll give you, because what G League team is going to beat a team with Giannis, a bunch of NBA All-Stars? What G League team is going to win? That's not fair to her. Like, it's bogus, but that's the only thing I would change.
It would be wild if the G League team did win it all the way. Like that.
Well, it's not just G League, it's the Rising Stars. So it's the freshmen and sophomores and possible G League.
Right. Okay, so it's going to be G League players and Victor Wembanyama.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
Well, I mean,
or Candace Parker.
I mean, Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah,
he could go all the way by himself. Like,
hey, Mr. 3-point.
Yeah, the Slenderman. But that's the only thing I would change. Is I would change it. If you want to go East and West, do it that way. All the best players, divide it in two. That's your team. All the best players, that's your team. Let best of the best take its course. And that might be down the chute. We don't know. So
I mean, I think that's a great idea.
Oh, thank you. But gentlemen, it is the moment we've all been waiting for the show. Gentlemen, start your trade machines, because trade rumors are in full swing, and boy, have we had some beautiful, beautiful trade scenarios. Dan Gracie, you're looking like you're ready to go, and that is I'm
having a sneeze fest. That's what was going on.
Okay. We've reached the most interesting part of any Chicago Bulls season, and that is the trade rumors and who's going to go, who's going to stay, who would you like to come here? You get to hear the most ridiculous trades in the world. So, gentlemen, I turn it to you. What trade connections have you heard? We'll leave the bigger ones for later, but what trade rumors have you heard as far as for the Bulls?
The Zach to Denver. I like that trade. We would get Michael Porter Jr. in return. If we do that, then I wouldn't mind him staying on the team, just because he's still young. We need size, and he's bigger than all of our guards. So I mean, I would like that, but I mean, if they find a third team and trade Michael Porter to that team, and we just get a pick or something, that works too. Also, Vooch, I like seeing Vooch to Miami. We would probably get Duncan Robinson in return.
All right.
Actually, trade rumor I just saw today, the Warriors are looking at Vooch.
I saw that. Yep. Right before we jumped on.
That would be a pretty good spot for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because Curry's going to feed him as much as possible. He can jump out to the three because they're still missing that with Clay being gone. So I think that's a good move. I don't want Michael Porter Jr. I don't think he fits well in this team. He reminds me too much. He's basically what Zach was a couple of years ago, where he's a shoot first player. So he works well on Denver because
Joker.
Yeah, the Joker feeds him really well.
Yep.
And he can spot up shoot. He's going to take the ball. He's not going to fit well with this team. He's not as much of a team player as we
true.
need. So he is
true.
He's really he's a good scorer. He's young. I think he's 25 or 26. So we need a young star, and he can turn into that guy on our team. But it's not an upgrade for our team. And I would say he wouldn't fit well here. So I don't want that trade.
No.
I don't know what we're going to be offered from the Warriors if they take Vooch. But I don't know. If we get Kuminga back, sounds great. I don't think they will send us Kuminga.
No.
But I don't know. We haven't heard much. I did kind of off the Bulls. Jimmy Butler is linked to the Suns now.
Yeah,
which would be interesting.
I would love that for him.
It makes no sense. The team has
it
too many
doesn't make any
scores.
sense. Yeah.
They need a center.
That team would implode too. Like, I don't see KD and Jimmy Butler getting along.
No.
I really don't. But throwing it back to the Bulls. I liked the Michael Porter Jr. trade a lot less than I liked it when we were in the running to get Brandon Ingram. I feel like Scott said, Michael Porter is essentially just a taller version of Zach LaVine in 2022, where he was a score first mentality. It was me, dish me the ball. The only reason why I dislike getting another forward is because what are you going to do with Matas then? You know, he plays small forward. Are you going to move Matas to power forward? I know he's playing power forward right now, but he does play agile like a small forward to where you could potentially see a small forward, you know, in Matas. But it will give us scoring. It will give us athleticism. But Bulls fans that are excited about Michael Porter Jr.'s forget the reason why we did not pick Michael Porter Jr., and that's he does have lingering injuries. Remember, Scott, you remember he had a lower back issue that dropped him from potentially the first overall pick to what was he drafted? 25th. He was a late first rounder.
He was late. Yeah, he definitely had back issues.
Yeah.
I think he's been pretty healthy since he's been in the league.
Yeah.
But
okay. I
don't like that.
How many years does he have left on his contract?
Porter?
He just recently signed a contract like 2 years ago, so he has like 3 or 4 years left. I think he signed a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
Whatever we do, I don't want to trade with the Lakers because I don't want their dog shit players.
No. Nope.
So I'm gonna throw my trade hat into the ring. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm telling you what I saw. Did you see that one wild trade that the Bulls are linked to?
Which one?
Which one?
The
Bulls fans.
The Bulls
if it's anything that you saw on Twitter, the Bulls fans are just like Lakers fans. They think they can give away their trash for everything.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No. This is even wilder than that. This was the Bulls being linked to acquiring Zion Williamson.
That doesn't make any sense for us at all.
Yeah. I have heard rumors of AD being on the trade market because the Lakers might be blowing it up. I would absolutely take AD.
Yeah, I was hearing some stuff about the Lakers should be trading LeBron this year. I mean, I've heard.
I think they should.
Yeah,
I think they should.
Well, the article I actually read was they should take a look at trading like LeBron for Dame. You know, whatever. Dude. Like I said, I don't really look in. I just find it interesting. I don't buy too much into the rumors. But,
right.
One thing I wanted to touch on before we get into depth is one thing I'm liking about this trade market is for the first time in a very long time, I'm seeing the Bulls kind of undershooting the worth of these players. Whereas last year, I'm glad you know what I'm talking about. Is we may be overly undershooting the price of our players. Like the opening bid for Lonzo Ball was what, a second round pick, a couple second round picks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Vooch also at the level that he's playing, we only expected a couple second round picks. So, gentlemen, do you feel like the prices that were meant for Vooch originally when I saw it, they were expecting minimum of 2 second round picks.
So, all I saw was at least 1 first rounder.
Oh, for Vooch? Okay, that might have been later on then. Gentlemen, how do you feel about the value? Like, what would you feel Vooch is worth? Don't name names. Like, don't say he's worth at least an AD. Just say, like, he's worth player and pick. Like, what do you think Vooch is worth right now if you are a team?
I would say a player and a pick. A player and a pick.
What type of player? Role player, starter?
I mean, at this point, like honestly, because our front office, and this is one of the things I'm worried about with us on this winning streak and everything, is that our front office is going to overvalue our players again. But I think the value right now is exactly where it is, and I would be fine if we got a role player for Vooch or something, just because we need to do something. But yeah, I would expect at least since Vooch is playing so good, I would expect at least one first round pick. I think that's fair.
Okay, here's the thing. What kind of pick are you expecting? Because when people say picks,
Like,
they're just expecting
say we trade.
Would you
Vooch
think it's a
to
protected pick?
Say we trade Vooch to like he's obviously these like all-star players are going to want to go to a contending team. So obviously that pick isn't going to be like good, but I'm still going to be okay with it because that's still one more pick we get in a draft. You know, that's more building blocks we get to
Okay.
to build.
So
to
this
those
year's
teams.
draft or a future draft, like 2025 or 27?
Yeah, it would be a future draft.
Okay.
Like I saw
what
mock draft? Oh, like if we did a trade with the Heat would give us like a 2029 first round draft pick. Like, okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Like
I'm big on,
and they might be fucking trash by then. So that pick could be good.
I like that. Okay. What about for like a player? Okay, I'm just gonna ramble. I'm gonna just rifle them off, and then I'll turn to Scott. But okay, for a player like Lonzo Ball, what do you think his trade value is?
I would say either 2 second rounds or I would say 2 second rounds on a player.
Like a
bench player.
a throw in
bench player.
Okay. That would be
in.
strictly to make salaries match.
For salaries and
Okay.
because like with his injuries and everything.
All right. And last but not least, Vooch. Or not Vooch, Zach rather.
Zach, I would want a first round pick and like a solid role player, bench player.
Perfect. Okay. Scott, what would you expect in a Vooch trade?
The Bulls' asking price is at least a first round pick.
Yeah.
So I think they would get a first round pick in maybe a bench player, if that. It'll probably be, if it's in the next couple of years, it's absolutely going to be a protected pick. If it's in the future, like Dan said, like 5 years from now, that's just going to be unprotected.
Yeah.
Lonzo, you're probably going to get maybe a couple players in a pick, like a second round pick. You're not getting a first round pick for Lonzo.
Yeah.
But it's also he makes a lot of money, so you're going to have to figure out contract. So what it might be is a aging veteran that is paid way too much money.
Yep.
You're also probably going to have that same thing. Zach might be the same thing, is you're going to have to take in someone that has too big of a contract and a pick. But also he might be one of those players that we do straight up swap with someone.
Yeah, I can see that.
Where they just want to do something different, but they have a good player.
Yeah.
So I would love Brandon Ingram. Zion, I think he's too hurt. But he's also Zion is, when he's healthy, is a top 25 player in the league.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The problem is, when is he ever healthy?
Gil put it perfectly. He is good enough to get coaches fired.
Yeah. No, that's
I love it. Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah. What do you mean? He's good enough to say, I don't like this coach. I want him gone. Kind of like what happened in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Kind of what's happened in the Lakers. Like, he's good enough to go to the front office and say, get a new coach.
Gotcha. Okay. That's a great way to put it. Let's see. All very good takes. I agree with Dan with Lonzo. I feel like minimum his value, I feel like Lonzo's value is 2 second-round picks, given injury problems, given so many X factors. But the main X factor being he makes a lot of money. I think the Bulls do not successfully find a trade for Lonzo just because the fact that that money is a lot of money to invest in a player that had arguably a career-ending injury, that had a miracle surgery, and now he can play again. I feel like that's going to be a little bit too much of a price tag for teams to bite on. The only thing that would be the X factor in that would be if that team happens to have, like Scott said, an aging veteran that makes way too much money that they're just trying to get off the books because Lonzo's contract is expiring. So that would be like insert your Harrison Barnes, your Tobias Harris of last year.
Duncan Robinson would be like...
Does he make a lot of money?
He makes a ton of money, and the Heat don't want him at all.
There you go.
And
there you go.
That actually would be a good spot for Lonzo, I feel like.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Especially if they're trying to move on from, they need a true point guard. You know, I mean, they have who's running their point?
Scary Terry.
Yeah. Tyler Hero. Insert Tyler Hero as a potential trade, target. But again, his price, realistically speaking, I see Lonzo Ball finishing up the year as a Chicago Bull. I don't really see us finding a suitor for him. As far as Vooch, the more and more Scott gives me West Coast teams, I'm starting to realize that Vooch's style of play is best suited in the Western Conference. I feel like had Vooch started his career and had a majority of his career in the Western Conference, he would have won at least 2 championships right now. Because this man right now, at his age, his level of expertise, he could go to any Western Conference team right now. And I think at his level of play right now, he'll put that team that needed the bump into the championship contention. Give your Phoenix Suns, your Golden State Warriors. I think if Golden State Warriors get a Vooch, I think that puts them as one of the favorites immediately. As far as a return for Vooch, I'm looking for a first-round pick. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, because next year is a great draft too. But definitely a top 10 protected up until yada, yada, yada. And if they really want to be serious, give me an unprotected pick and he's yours. Zach, at the beginning of our show, I said that we would not get the same return for Zach that he is worth. But now I'm starting to see that that's a little different. I feel like for Zach, we'd get definitely a first-round pick. I think that if you receive a phone call for Zach and they're not saying first-round pick, you hang up immediately. But I'm starting to say you may get young star and pick now, whereas last year you'd get first and the second. You know what I mean? Now you're getting young star, and not young star. You know what I mean? Up and coming star off the and a pick. So, but the problem with Zach is I don't see this happening straight up. There needs to be a third team. He makes way too much money.
That's why Michael Porter works, because it's basically the same amount of money.
Right. But again, like, okay, let's say you're the GM of the Denver Nuggets. Would you take Zach LaVine and trade away Michael Porter Jr.?
I would.
I kind of think he would fit a little bit better on that team.
Yeah.
You don't think he would clash with Murray? Because they played almost a similar style.
I don't think so. Because Zach, he's playing more of a team ball, so I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. Plus, there'll be less pressure for Zach, and like everything goes around Joker,
Right.
And Joker is like kind of the best passing big man in the game.
Right.
So I think it would work 100%.
So you guys are on board. You wouldn't mind a trade for Michael Porter for Zach? Would it be straight up?
I don't want it. I don't want Michael Porter Jr. I don't think he would fit well with this team. But it's not a bad trade. On paper, it's not a bad trade for both teams, but I don't think it'll work well for the Bulls.
How tall is Michael Porter? 6'9", 6'10"? If he's 6'9", 6'10", I say
6'9",
6'8". If he's that tall, go for it. You know what I mean? What's the worst that happens?
6'10".
6'10". Okay, go for it. Throw him in there. But the problem is, if you're going to go for it, the Bulls are going to do something stupid like play him at power forward. If we're going to get a Michael Porter Jr., play him at small forward, what he spent a majority of his success and his career in the NBA as a small forward. I'd say then you run whoever our center is going to be, if it's Vooch, Pat, Michael Porter Jr., and realistically speaking, I'd like to see Vooch, Matas, Michael Porter Jr., who'd be shooting guard. Oh, Giddey and then Kobe. So that'd be a badass lineup. I wouldn't mind that. But again, I don't know.
He's on contract for 2 more years. I think even if it doesn't fit, I mean, just eat it for 2 years. Maybe we'll be bad, and I mean,
yeah,
we'll still be building.
Here's just my personal opinion. I think that if you are the Chicago Bulls organization, if you're AK right now, you should make every single last-ditch effort to try to swing a Brandon Ingram to come here before you take a trade for Michael Porter Jr. My personal opinion, just before you go accepting any trades, see if there's absolutely nothing we can do to get Brandon Ingram, because I personally think that we could get him fairly he's not an unacquirable player. I'll just say that. But fellas, before we move on, do you see any other players besides the big 3 that we just mentioned that you wouldn't mind seeing moved or has the potential to be moved?
I mean, I'm with the front office when I saw the report of like pretty much everyone is untouchable, you know.
Okay. Do you have any untouchables on this team?
The only untouchables I have on this team is Mataz.
Okay. But and now who do you see getting moved? Who do you realistically not see move?
I don't think Mataz is going to be moved. I don't think Pat's going to be moved because Pat's contract. Like, why? I don't think Kobe will be moved. And I don't think Sticks will be moved either.
Okay.
Pretty much our young players, I don't think anyone's going to touch them.
So you can see like a Torrey Taylor getting moved. You can see like just role players to match salaries get moved.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Scott, who do you see non-big 3 getting moved?
I don't know. Like, as much as we like our bench, there's no one on there that anybody's going to want. Everybody else has the same type of bench players.
Right. Yep.
Like, you may get someone asking for Io, but other than that, I don't know. No one's going to call you for THT. No one's going to call you for Phillips.
Like, I'm going to disagree with that. You may see people call it because he's young, he's cheap, and he's athletic.
Yeah, but also, he hasn't shown anything. Like, he's starting to show stuff. He's not a established player, so you won't trade for that. I don't think we can even trade.
What about Dalen Taylor?
No.
I don't think many teams will be calling.
Don't talk to me like that.
Worth a shot.
I don't even think you can trade Smith till like
I don't think so,
February, like just before the deadline. Patrick Williams is a useless player. No one's going to want that.
Yep.
Like, you really only have those 3. I don't think people are calling for Kobe either. Like, why would you call for Kobe when there's talks of the Kings blowing it up, and now you have Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox possibly available? Why are you calling for Kobe? So I don't see any really. I wouldn't be surprised if we pull the Bulls signature move and do nothing. Because again, you know what's going to happen? We're going to be like the 5th seed, and they're going to be like, oh, we need to go for it, and then we'll end up as the 9th seed.
Yeah, because we're currently in like the 8th seed right now, so we're teetering on that.
We are 1 less win than the 4th seed right now, or the 5th seed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We're tied with Indy.
Yeah, the Bucks have 14 wins. We have 13. So there's a very. I don't think we're going to be. We're always going to be within the top 10. I think. And
yeah.
I don't think anybody's moving.
I think for all intents and purposes, you might be right. That's a very real Bulls fans, be prepared for deja vu of last year where we stand pat and don't do anything. I'll be honest with you, I don't hate it. As much as I like trades, I don't hate it. Like, this team is showing that we could compete, not at an elevated level, but just compete. Like, who knows? Maybe the best thing for Zach LaVine to boost his trade value isn't to unload him in the middle of the year, to let him complete a full, healthy season and get a good season of quality basketball under his belt. Going into the offseason, that might boost his trade value a little more. Who knows? Same goes with Vooch. Lonzo, unfortunately, you either get rid of him this year or he walks on his own and you just take the 21 mil off the books as a win in the trade, as whatever.
That's what's going to happen.
Exactly. Giddey, you do have to re-sign Giddey. So all these variables are going to factor in. As far as my original question, I'll answer it. I think that the only player on this team who I would likely see moved that isn't the big three, Torrey Taylor. He's way too versatile to be sitting on the bench. I don't know why he's sitting on the bench. He must have some locker room issues, but he went from a versatile role player to our garbage, and he's not a bad player. So I could see him getting
Torrey Craig.
Craig? I'm sorry, Torrey Craig. Thank you.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I was
like,
say,
who is this?
Yeah, Torrey Taylor is not there anymore.
I was
Torrey
like,
Craig.
the Bears punter.
Yeah, that's Torrey Craig.
I think I was just letting it go.
I think Torrey Craig was a little bit too talented to not have a more, what do you call it, versatile role. No one's going to call about Javon Carter. I forgot he was even on the team until the other night. I saw him stand up and do his hoodied, 3-point thing that he does. I'm going to piggyback off of Scott. I do think that Julian Phillips is like the caliber player that we would take in a Zach LaVine or a Vooch trade, where it's one of those players that they show upside, but they really haven't proven themselves yet. But once again, like Danny Gafford, like Bobby Portis, like who's the other guy that we got rid of for cheap? They're going to go to another team and just light it up. That's what Julian Phillips is going to be. Julian Phillips is the guy that you trade to like a Golden State Warriors team, and he becomes their sixth man and is just dominating. Okay, so that's what that's more or less the player I'm trying to say we'd acquire, but who knows? Time will tell. I think everyone else is pretty much safe.
I see Torrey Craig as a player that is thrown in.
Yeah, he's a throw-in.
There you go. Yeah,
he's absolutely going to be. If someone's moved, he's going to be part of that to make things work.
What does he make? What does he make? $5 million?
Something like that. I think he's
making $5-6 million. I don't think it's terrible. I can't think of any other players that I would even have interest in, because I just want the Bulls to understand they're very guard heavy, and
he's making $2 million.
He's making $2 million.
Yeah.
Oh, am I okay? Well, he's
my
definitely
bad.
going to be.
Yeah, no, he's making $2 million this year.
Then he may not be able to tip the scales very much, because the three players we're trying to unload make a lot of money. We'll see. That's the best part about being a fan of the Bulls during this time of the year, is we get to see all the ridiculous outcomes of trades, and then at the end we do absolutely nothing. Like Scott said, we do jack, and that's fine. But fellas, that brings us on to our next. This has nothing to do with the Bulls, but it's our favorite fan. So what are you looking all questioned for, Dan?
Nothing. Sorry, I'm looking at photos.
It moves on to one of our favorite segments here on the show, and it's called Mount Hornsmore, where we give you a topic to rank top 5, and if you want to play along at home, drop your Hornsmore in the comment section. Gentlemen, last week was a heated Hornsmore. I was very passionate about that. It hit a little close to home. And you guys did such a phenomenal job of ranking the top 5 greatest Los Angeles Lakers of all time that I'm going to do you a favor. This week, submitted by my brother, I want you guys to rank the top 5 greatest Boston Celtics of all time.
Dude. Larry.
Okay. So
and
aside from Larry,
Larry Hughes, not Bird. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Now we might have ruffled a little feathers there. Who do you got?
Does it have to be like in order?
No,
I don't want to. I don't want to go in order.
No,
So
that's fine.
Larry, obviously Bird.
Mhm.
Kevin McHale. Fucking. Oh my God, I can't. Hold on. That.
Wasn't Kevin McHale a bench
Bill,
player?
Bill
He
Simmons.
was. Bill Simmons?
Bill
podcast?
Simmons,
Bill-
the
not-
podcast. Yeah.
Not Bill
Podcaster.
Simmons. Not Bill Simmons. Not
You're thinking of Bill Russell. Bill Russell.
Bill
Yeah,
Russell.
Bill Russell.
The
Sorry.
Podfather?
Hey, Bill Simmons is
Sorry, I mean,
Boston guy,
he's a
so it kinda
Celtics
works.
legend by himself. So yeah.
Shout out Bill Simmons.
What am I at?
Okay.
Three?
You're at 3. 2.5 if you count Bill
Um,
Simmons.
Fuck it. I'll put JT in there.
Who's JT?
Jason Tatum.
Oh, Jason Tatum. Okay. I thought you were talking about like Jason Terry.
KG.
Oh.
KG.
Kevin Garnett? Okay. So you'd have Bird.
Man, fuck. They've had so many good
Larry.
fucking players. I take
I
McHale
know.
off.
That's why it's so hard.
Take McHale off, maybe put Paul Pierce as much as like Paul Pierce is a clown to me. I mean, he is the truth when he was playing.
Yeah. All right. Scott, who's your top 5?
You got Russell, Bird,
Mhm.
Bob Cousy's on there.
Kuzi.
Okay.
Parrish? Was Parrish?
Ooh, the Chief. Yeah, the Chief.
Yeah.
The Chief was
Havlicek.
John Havlicek. Yeah.
And then I would probably put Robert Parrish.
The Chief. Yeah. You wouldn't put Jason
Yeah.
Tatum?
I think Jason Tatum will be there, but he's not there yet. He's too young.
That's fair.
It's too early in his career.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. I'm glad you say that because when I'm making these top 5 videos, because I've been doing a lot of them. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. They're actually quite fun. I enjoy making them. But what pisses people off that watch them is I don't include a player that's still playing. And it's like, give them time to develop some stats. Yes, this person may be better on the court right now, but give them time to develop more stats and put more stats under the belt. Like Scott said, this player might go on to be better or a
Right.
top 5,
Mhm.
but they haven't gotten there yet. Let their career unfold. Thank you, Scott. Okay.
Yep.
You were
And,
saying, sorry.
Yeah, I think that was 5. And I'm going to do an honorable mention just because people don't understand how good he was. Rajon Rondo.
Brian Scalabrine.
Like,
Yeah,
oh,
I want to
dude,
put
You
yes.
did not score, but
I want
those
to put Rondo.
Celtics, when they were the big 3 Celtics with Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and KG, those teams don't win without Rondo. He was so good at defense. He facilitated everyone. He was a floor general.
Yeah, he was definitely the glue.
The messed up thing is like you were saying there, when I look at I can't put, and there's no offense to Dan, I can't really say KG I don't view him as a Celtic. Like, even though he won his ring there, I still always will view him as a Timberwolf. You know what I mean?
I was
as a net.
I was blanking.
As a net, yeah. Like Ray Allen, I'll always see him as a supersonic. But the Truth and Rajon Rondo are like the 2 players that I always were synonymous with the Boston Celtics. But my list goes as follows. I'd put 5A and 5B. I'm going to go 5A and 5B. I'm going to go Paul Pierce and Rajon Rondo, 5A, 5B. Number 4, and again, this is not in any particular order, I'm going to put John Havlicek. The man is an 8-time NBA champion. It's absolutely insane. Number 3, Glenn Big Baby Davis. No, I'm kidding.
Stop.
I'm going to go Bob.
Forgot about
I'm going to
him.
go Bob Cousy too.
Isn't he? Wait. Isn't he in jail?
You forgot about Big Baby.
I'm pretty
don't
sure
know.
he's in jail right now.
I don't know.
I feel like he
Maybe.
might be in jail. I gotta look this up.
But Bob Cousy, 6-time champion, 13-time All-Star. You know what I mean? I'd put him at 3. 2. I'm gonna piss a lot of people off. At number 2, I'm gonna put Larry Bird. A lot
He's
of
in
people are
jail. Not
Bird is
Larry.
not in jail.
Not Larry. Not
I was
Larry.
gonna
Big,
say,
big
Larry
baby.
Bird is
Big
not in
baby.
jail.
He's in jail for fraud.
Okay, I could see that.
He's not a
and
Celtic legend.
No, Larry Legend. I think he's the second best Celtic of all time because number 1, I think is Bill Russell. Bill Russell. I mean, say what you want. The man had a phenomenal career. He won 11 freaking championships, dude. Like, come on. 11. Here, let me read off some of his accolades. 11-time champion, 5-time MVP, and he was renowned for one of the greatest defenders in NBA history. Like, what more can you ask for? Now, I will say that if his career continues to go on the up and up, bump up Paul Pierce and Rajon Rondo to 4, and you'd put Jason Tatum at 5 and eliminate the Bob Cousy up there. You know what I mean? But that's just how that's what I think. But the absolute greatest Celtic of all time, Brian Scalabrine.
He's up
Isn't he
for sure.
their TV announcer?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Bill Russell, one of the best players ever.
Yes.
He hates Boston.
Does he?
Hated the city of Boston.
I think he hates the
absolutely.
city.
He said
that's understandable
because of how much racism he had to deal with. He literally did not have his jersey retired in front of fans. He hated the city. He said he played for the Celtics, not for Boston.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that he was treated terribly there.
I feel like it's a well-known fact about Boston's fans. Like,
they're pretty wild.
Y'all
they're pretty wild.
Savages over there.
Yeah. The man got you 11 championships. The man got you 11 championship. How could you do that? Like, Bulls fans will never see me, you, and Dan. We will never see 11 championships. We are 30. We are in our 30s.
Oh God, no.
In the next 50 years, we will not see 5 more champions. Dude, that's depressing on its own. I don't know.
Dude, I don't even know if I'm going to see another. I'm not even sure we're going to see another one. Like,
yeah.
Nah,
so the next 50 years.
Well, I sent you guys
Bulls.
a thing, a picture recently, like a meme of Chicago sports. There was only one team in Chicago that had a winning record, and it was the Cubs.
It was the Cubs, and that's because they play 100 and something.
The Chicago is a poverty sports city. Every team sucks.
Yeah.
So I blame ownership on a lot of it too.
They also didn't include on that picture. And I know it's not that big a fan base, so it's an outlier. But like the Chicago Fire were like, I think, dead last in the league, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then the Chicago Sky. I mean,
third worst team in the league.
Yeah. This year will be different.
Say that every year.
No,
I know.
Really, kind of going off on a tangent. Angel Reese needs to quit being so selfish. Quit stat chasing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the reason. That's part of the reason they sucked.
Don't say that. She's not going to come on the show if we talk shit about her. But we do know one thing, that this year has the makings that it's probably our best opportunity in Chicago to be above 500. We're certainly playing like it. We could finish the season off on a winning record.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather it's not, but I mean,
you really want that draft pick, don't you?
I just want to keep. It doesn't even have to be like. I just want a top 10 pick. That's all I want.
Yeah. The only pick I want is next year, not this year. 2025, keep it. I want 2026's draft pick. I want that to be number 1. I want to draft AJ Devanza. The guy is a beast. Look at BYU this year. That team is going to be disgusting with him on it. I still don't know why he didn't pick Syracuse, but that's just me. Scott's going to tell you why.
The Mormons have money. That's why.
Okay, there you go. All right. There it is.
The Mormons paid him a bunch of money to go there.
Thank you, NIL. Anyways, fellas, before we veer off into oncoming traffic here, anything else you like to add before we close the show up? Dan, is this your
No,
I got
go
nothing.
see Red. No, yeah, I got nothing. I did earlier, but I forgot about it. Yeah, I don't remember.
Scott, what do you got?
I've heard recently a lot of people crying about why ratings down for the NBA and too many 3-pointers. And just watching the last couple games, like watching the NBA Cup in the Bulls games against the Celtics, which we play the Celtics tonight, and we're probably going to get our ass kicked.
Oh,
But,
for sure.
Revenge.
The teams that won, they stopped trying to live by the three, and then they started driving the ball. Like that, the NBA Cup, the reason why the Thunder lost is because they shot 15% from 3-point line, and they kept trying to shoot. What they couldn't do is they couldn't handle Giannis down low. They couldn't handle Dame driving. The Bulls beat the Celtics because they couldn't handle Io and Kobe driving. Kobe stopped shooting threes in the second half. And guess what? We ended up taking a lead because Kobe kept trying to see what was open down low. I think teams are going to start going back towards driving to the basket. We're not going to see the dunks anymore. I think a lot of teams are going to be players are going to be moving away from it. And Ja actually recently said that he's not dunking anymore. And then like 2 days later, he did the most ridiculous dunk I've seen all season. But
yes,
they brought it up on Jeff Teague's podcast. Right now, who is one of the longest serving point guards in the league?
Chris Paul.
Okay, does Chris Paul dunk?
No.
Michael Conley, does he dunk?
That's only because they can't.
Guess
dunk.
what?
They physically
don't. They can. They all can dunk, but guess what? They're not getting injured because they're not going up into traffic against players. So
that's very true.
I think dunking might start leaving. Like the point guard dunking and the guard dunking might start leaving. You're still going to see it with like Giannis and like the big men. They're going to still do it, but you're not going to see as many like driving poster dunks unless you're Pat, because he's trying to do that on everybody for no goddamn reason.
But he's going to fail every single time.
Yeah. Like you're going to see less and less of guards dunking because you lose longevity you lose a lot of years going up into traffic trying to dunk. It's the reason Jeff Teague, he even said he retired earlier than he wanted to because he was dunking. He was trying to dunk a lot and driving to the basket like that and getting injured. So,
well, not to hit it close to home, but like Derrick Rose's career was cut short because of the athleticism.
He tore his ACL on a floater. So
yeah.
Again. But that was the first time.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing that's going to happen is you're definitely going to start seeing teams move. They're going to still shoot a lot of threes. Actually, the funny thing I actually saw on Blue Sky, someone said we clowned on Denzel Valentine for taking that three.
Oh yeah.
How many times is that three shot in a game now?
Oh yeah. Now it's just a normal shot. Like Kobe pulls that up at least 4 or 5 times a game.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like there's players coming in the league that aren't athletic, not NBA caliber players. And you put them in the league 10 years ago, they would be destroyed.
Oh yeah.
We're getting players that are all they can do is just shoot, and then they just take bad shots.
Yeah.
So we're going to start seeing a lot of these younger guards that have the athleticism start taking over again. I think it's going to, the shift to the three is still going to stay, but I really hope that we start driving more. And I think teams are going to start noticing that, like, oh, they're leaving the lane wide open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I think
we've already heard
the
players complain about it.
Yeah. And I think the fans will be coming around to it soon if they haven't already, because I feel like the league has a serious 3-point chuck problem. It's
Also,
every single team playing the same.
It's the reason that I think viewership is down. It is so hard to find games. It's so hard to watch games now.
Yeah, that could be too. Yeah.
In Chicago, yeah.
Well, exactly. Chicago, it's a major market. You couldn't watch games.
Yeah,
Like,
because I feel like that's more on Jerry than.
Well, it's not just Chicago. It's other areas have done that. League Pass, like I understand that they have I think that's what they're trying to do is they're trying to have all the teams make their own like network so they can put it on League Pass and you're not blacked out.
Yeah.
And I wish that being blacked out on NBA League Pass is bullshit. If I pay for it, I should be able to watch any team anywhere.
100%. That was
the
a good
game
last
isn't
word.
what it used to be. We'll just
three off
the game
out.
was not what it used to be. Yeah, I'm like, wow, yeah. Like dude, I always say to you guys, the 90s was the best era for basketball. Not because I'm an old soul, I'm an unk. Which, by the way, what is with that word, unk? I got called an unk the other day. I thought somebody was calling me University of North Carolina. It was in passing. They're like, you're such an unk, and apparently that word means that
just means like old head.
You're the old uncle at a party who like tries to be cool, but like thinks that like back in his day was the greatest era. But no, like dude, back in the 90s,
about the 90s were the best basketball. Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Oddly enough, all of us are uncles.
Yeah, we are. Oh, damn. Children, let me tell you something. The 90s was the pinnacle of basketball performance because you had a little thing we like to call defense, not putting a hand in somebody's face as they're racing up for the half court three, but we had the backing down defense where you had to like back down against players like Mutombo, where you were going to get your shit thrown back. Whatever. You had to back down against players like Shaq. Players like, we'll even do it. Like, there's no strategy in the game nowadays. It's just run up the court, chuck a three, rush down. We don't even grab our own rebounds. Fundamental basketball. Take a shot, chase your shot. Okay. How many times? I challenge you this. Bulls fans, watch this. How many shots are they going to take in the next game where they hoist up a shot, nobody follows their shot, and then the ball goes exactly to the spot where they were standing right before the shot got taken? Watch it. I guarantee you'll see it because it happened. It happened so many times during the Charlotte game.
Yeah. Do you know the two players that actually do that run down there? Io and Phillips. Io and Phillips. Yeah. Those two crash the boards.
I've seen Giddey do it a handful of times too.
Yeah. It's just go in there. Too. It's because, like you said, the defense isn't expecting someone to run down there. They're just expecting to grab an easy rebound. Go run in there. Try to just disrupt it.
Right. Dude, that's the irritating part about basketball and a part of it is also the fact that we also need to understand that basketball has now changed. It's not a strategy game anymore. The strategy is, can you shoot the long ball good? And that's fine. If that's what the league is happy with their product being, then that's fine. But there's no challenge in the sport to the players anymore. I say, move the 3-point line back. They did it once back in the 90s. They moved the 3-point because I don't know if you guys were watching, but you guys obviously weren't watching basketball back then, but the 3-point line used to be touching the top of the key, the circle of the key. It used to be touching that, and they moved it 5 feet back. Move it another 5 feet back. Look it up, Scott. Move it another 5 feet back.
Make dunks 3 points.
Dude, I'm glad you said that because as Scott was talking about how no player wants to dunk, I was like, plot twist, the NBA makes the 3-point shot worth 2 and dunking worth 3. The Bulls would never score a 3 if we trade Zach. But anyway, not to veer. But well, guys, that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you guys for sticking to the end. Don't forget to leave us a comment, like this video. Go look at our shorts. Give us a comment on our shorts. Who knows? You might be the reason why we make a Hornsmore off of you. But follow us on our socials. Hit up our merch page, www.denzelrange.com, where you can find a vast variety of all Horns Over Hoops apparel, clothing, accessories, whatever, including, but not limited to, this lovely, beautiful Christmas sweater, which by the time you order it, won't be here in time, but it looks good regardless.
You'll have it for next year.
Yeah, exactly. You'll have it ready for next year. What else do I got, fellas? Go see Sonic 3. That movie was good. Go see Sonic
Keanu.
3. Yeah, Keanu. You got Sonic.
Edis, I can't say the other guys. The guy who plays Knuckles, Edis Adabra.
I don't know. I just saw it yesterday.
I can't pronounce his name. He's a good actor.
Yeah. But anyway, from all of us here at the Horns Over Hoops Studios, thank you for listening to our show. We hope you had a safe and happy holiday. And don't forget, Bulls fans, trade season is right around the corner, but we still encourage you to see red and go Bulls. Good night, everybody.